Hello, and welcome to Q&A. Today, here at Thoroughbred Diesel, I have my good friend Kyle Key from FlowPro is here today. So Kyle is going to be sitting in on Q&A, which promises to be a very spirited event here today.
Yeah, I'm stoked. This is my first Facebook Live video.
Your first Q&A too.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not. Kyle and I discussed it, and we're not fielding any questions from anybody today unless you preface the question with something about Trailer Park Boys. So
That's right.
it's the Canadian way. Kyle is the owner of Groove Fab, who I talk about every week on Q&A. The record divider. So if you guys are record fans and you need a record divider, you can get a hold of Kyle at groovefab.com. Buy a record divider from Kyle, and it's here in my office. I'll personally package it up and send it right to you. So groovefab.com. Check us out on the web.
Feel free to ask Wade for a signed copy as well.
Absolutely, I will sign your receipt. I'm not the man. I'm not the inventor. I'm merely the shipper. But I will be glad to put a personal touch on it.
With your order, just ask Wade to draw a little picture on the envelope for it.
Yes,
I want to see what Wade's artwork looks like.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were talking about tanks. We were talking about fuel systems and talking about how if you've got a lift pump and you've got a dual tank setup, that you have to be linked in upstream from the switcher valve. If it's got a switcher valve, it doesn't have a switcher valve. It pulls from both tanks at the same time. So I drew this picture, and this was my picture, my rendering of the two different tank systems, and how you show up here at the top pulling from the switcher valve, and this would be pulling from both tanks at the same time.
Can we do? We'll preface this off with a funny story. Can you tell the story yesterday of the propane tank?
About Jody?
Yes, and give them a little backstory on why this is occurring. How we're trying some new stuff. We're trying to help customers flow through the workflow quicker, so that you guys don't have the hold times and stuff like that. So, I'll leave it there, and then I'll let Wade take over.
So, not to hijack Kyle's show, because the show today is we're kind of centering it around FlowPro, but so we've set up our phone system here at Thoroughbreds in a different way. You're actually, when you call in, you're actually going to get to talk to an operator right away instead of being in what we call queue or call queue. So somebody's going to answer the phone, and it may be our operator. So Jody, who works upstairs and does our invoicing, a great guy, but he's not in the diesel niche market. So he feels the call yesterday. He gets a call. First thing the lady says is, "Do you all fill propane tanks?" Because here locally,
no. She said, you weren't up there.
No, I wasn't.
You need me to tell this?
Yeah,
story?
I'll let you tell. But there, let me.
She calls up and she says,
"There's another Thoroughbred. There's another place in town called Thoroughbred Propane."
Yes,
and that's who she thought.
This is what the problem is. So the problem is, she calls up and she says, "Sir, my tank is leaking." And just set the scene a little more. She spoke mild English, we'll call it. So the conversation was not very clear from the get-go.
Yeah.
And he talked to this lady for the first 3 minutes and didn't even know, just trying to figure out where her tank was leaking, so he knew who to send it to. If it was a tank she bought from us, like a Titan tank, or if it was just a technical problem. Mm-hmm. And it took him a solid 3 minutes to find out that it was a propane tank.
Yeah. So he gets off the phone and he was like, "Hey, do we sell propane tanks?" No, Jody, we don't sell propane tanks. I just talked to everybody upstairs here. They say we don't even sell propane tanks, so it's not the droids you're looking for.
Jody, being the nice guy, proceeds to talk to this lady for the next 10 to 15 minutes and tells her everything about propane tanks that he knows. And by all means, Jody is no more of a propane aficionado than any of the rest of us that have hooked a tank up to our grill in the backyard.
Which makes us aficionados.
Yeah. So, and he's having to help this lady, and we hear him and us around him like, "Jody, what are you on?" I mean, this is a 15-minute phone call on this lady that she just you give her the phone number to who she needs to call and tell her to have a nice day.
Yeah.
And he ended up telling this lady how to, "Ma'am, you're probably not going to want to leave that tank inside the house. No, I don't think that's a good idea. You should probably take the tank outside and call this number." And he probably told that lady to call that number about 10 times, and it was a good time.
So the moral of all this story is, if you got any propane questions, don't call Thoroughbred Diesel. And
but
if you do,
we're
ask for
Jody.
Jody. That's exactly right. If you do, ask for Jody.
All right. We got some questions. You want to dive into?
Yeah, let's dive into them. A couple new new products we got on the website this week. DePaco 12 valve injector installation kit. DIP 5.9, 59,000. Let's go.
What did you all talk about in training this morning?
What did we talk about in training this morning? Our double top secret truck we're getting ready to start building. We talked about it, and that was pretty much it. Mm-hmm. So, yep, and new products. Some EGR cooler stuff that Boss Tech's got out, and how the cutaway of it, we want to show it next week.
So, Trailer Park Boys, do you think Julian is the real reason Ricky always gets in trouble?
No, Ricky does it to himself. Julian's always got a drink, and he's a businessman, but I think Ricky does it to himself.
Ricky does it himself.
Well, he's not very word smart with words and rocket appliances and that sort of thing. So
I will say that Julian probably puts Ricky in most of the situations that Ricky fails at.
Right.
I think that it's Julian that leads him to the water. It's Ricky's the one that usually drinks the damn water. That's the problem in Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What exhaust would you recommend?
Thanks for this question.
For a 2001 5.9 Cummins.
Flow Pro.
Flow Pro, yeah.
Flow Pro. And here's Chris's daily every time. Hey, Chris, guess what time it is on Thursday?
Hi. Hey, Wade, you have a nice day. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for calling, man.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, hoo-ah! That was Chris, our warehouse manager.
We're going to start calling it the warehouse cameo.
Yeah.
We need to start making him, like, next time he does that, we're going to ask him questions. Like, all right, Chris, let's talk about torque converters and see what he can answer.
So, I guess
realistically, to answer that question, it all depends on what you're using the truck for and what kind of sound you're going to want out of it. Because as a basic performance upgrade, if you're just looking for better flow, better horsepower, a 4-inch turbo back system with a muffler, that's going to give you plenty of flow. Our mufflers are a straight-through perforated core, so you're not going to have any pressure issues like that. Especially if you're pulling a trailer, I'd recommend going with a muffler. But if you want it to be as loud as possible, then you can go 5-inch no muffler. That's definitely going to give you a little bit more performance over the 4-inch. But ideally, if you're using it as a daily driver, pulling trailers, that sort of thing, a 4-inch exhaust is plenty good for you.
Yeah. 5-inch exhaust is the hot ticket right now. Everybody wants a 5-inch exhaust. You're not going to get a performance gain from 5-inch to 4-inch. We talk about that quite a bit. Depending on the area that you live in, was where we make the distinction between aluminized and stainless steel. Yep. If you're in a dry climate with no salt on the roads, you can totally get away with aluminized. If it begins to rust, it will rust through. Stainless steel if you're in a wetter climate and more salt on the road. So.
Yep, for sure.
Dylan wants to know how much it is for a 97 4-door long bed stainless steel exhaust system with a 4-inch muffler. So Dylan, I'll start off this question with all of our prices and stuff of this can be found on the website very easily, whether you're on the phone or the desktop. We've got mobile optimized, whatever you need for that.
This is actually the first time anybody's ever asked us for the price on something while we were sitting there on Q&A, so I'm just trying to figure out how fast I can click through it for you, Dylan, to find out.
Talk about your kits, Kyle, because FlowPro doesn't really offer, except for a few times really, do you all offer kits for long beds or crew cabs or stuff like that?
Yeah.
Often, or is it more just a universal fit?
Well, essentially, we design our kits to be a universal fit for all the cab configurations and bed configurations, so that means that we include an extension pipe in there in the box to either include that pipe or exclude that pipe depending on your cab configuration. So that allows us to make one part number that's going to fit all of them, and then it's kind of like IKEA when you're putting it together and you got an extra piece left over, but it all fits onto your truck. The factory hanger locations and everything just pops together, and if you need a little bit longer, usually they're only a 10 or 20 inch extension pipe that's included there to adapt to any configuration. So.
And you can use your extra piece of pipe in the kit to make yourself a nice stack for your lawnmower if you'd like to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, put it on George Jones.
You put it right on George Jones. I'm not putting it on George Jones. That's
what do we got for a price there?
Hey, price on 4-inch with muffler kit. Is that what he was wanting, Adam? Stainless? Is that right? 4-inch stainless with the muffler is $356.80. Dylan, ship it to you. If you would like that, give us a call and we'll get you taken care of. So, yeah, absolutely. The part number on that is SS821.
He had a follow-up quit. He's tried, and guys, if you're asking questions about specific brands, that's just an awkward situation for all of us, so we're not going to talk about other people's brands today. We're going to focus on FlowPro. or if you do have a question about a problem you're having with something you purchased with us, Wade's going to handle that question. So just to preface
Or
that.
any trailer park related question.
Yeah.
Trailer park
So,
related, yeah.
Because I live in a trailer.
This is a follow-up on the 97 guy. He said he's bought a certain brand of stainless steel, and all 3 of the downpipes he's had so far has had leaks on it. Have you had issues with those on any of your all's kits on 97s? Have you done something different than maybe everybody else has?
It's a 97 Ford.
97 Ford,
Yeah. We use a cold rolled steel.
Yeah.
I
got you.
You got it?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we use a cold rolled steel flange on those, and they're robotically welded on. So if it's a weld on the clamp connection versus like if it's leaking, like if the weld's wearing out or something like that. But yeah, we've never really had any leak issues on that. We've got a pretty good warranty on ours, up to a year on manufacturer's defects. So you can always give us a call, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll send you out a new pipe if that's the case. But
Dylan, on the OBS trucks, not to hijack it from Kyle here, and I'll take a picture of it right here. On the OBS trucks, you can see the downpipe there is, FlowPro uses a 2-piece downpipe, but they go one step farther. They actually use a saddle clamp for that. The saddle clamp is going to create a good seal on the 2-piece downpipe, so that is definitely the one. That is going to be definitely one that's going to last for you. So.
Yeah, and to get a 1-piece tailpipe in there, it's really tight, and it's painful to do. And a lot of times on these early 7.3s, even to get that downpipe out, there's rubber mounts on the cab that kind of sag down over time. So we almost suggest to loosen those off a little bit and just raise the cab up a little bit, just to 3/4 of an inch, if that is going to give you that much more room to install your downpipe in there.
Jared Holder wants to see a magic trick. He said no excuses. You got anything off the cuff right now?
Jaron Holder wants to see magic.
Hey, I tell you what is a Jaron Holder magic trick. Jaron Holder magic trick is you text Jaron Holder 3 days later, he texts you back. Ta-da! But hey, at least he did text you back. Good to see you, man.
All right, that's good. I mean, you can do one if you can think of, but not on the spot.
I need a prop. So.
Here, hold on just a second. He's going.
All right, well, he can look and you can answer this question. It's a non-exhaust related.
That's my manager.
2012 comes. I got to keep the show running.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
2012 Cummins. Do you recommend traction bars? And if so, do you have a brand that you recommend?
No, I've talked about this a couple Q&As ago. Longhorn Fab, we don't carry Longhorn Fab, and he called me the other day. I need to get back in touch with him. They make a very good traction bar. I think any of them, as long as your mounting points are good and stable, and look for adjustability in the track bars.
We only have one track bar that I know that we've offered. We've offered it since 2006, and that's probably an area where we're lacking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
what is it? ProComp. ProComp.
Yeah, it's
ProComp,
which is kind of a cool system.
It really is. It's kind of a more ladder bar.
It is. Yeah. It's a ladder bar more than it is a track bar, but all right. Do you guys make an 8-inch exhaust turbo back?
No, that's.
Talk about why that would be. I don't know if that's a joke question or not.
It's not feasible.
We're going to treat it as a real question and go from there.
Yeah. It's not feasible. Kyle's got a lot to say to this. I'll kind of speak for Kyle on this. I think that one of the biggest things that they had to get away from making the 8-inch and larger exhaust systems was just really because of 2 reasons. Human trafficking. So many people were hiding smuggled humans in the pipes, and cats. We were losing just tons of cats. Yeah. Now, an 8-inch tip, I don't even think you do an 8-inch tip, do you, Kyle? You do
8 inch is the biggest tip that we have.
Okay.
People are always asking us for 10-inch and 12-inch tips, and I mean, you can 5-gallon pails are cheaper, and you can just use those.
You can paint it silver
spray paint. You can get.
So for those of you that don't like cats, you can shake the 8-inch exhaust manufacturers for single-handedly helping to limit that population density.
Exactly right. That's exactly. Look what those bastards did to us.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I'm not picking on it. Just maybe that's what he was asking. Maybe he was asking if they had an 8-inch tip. But so obviously,
if it was an 8-inch tip, we do have several of those. FlowPro makes. Do you have a black one in that one?
Yeah, we've got black powder coated bolt on, 5 to 8 inch, 4 to 8 inch, whatever you need. It'll fit, and you can fit it on your head.
Yeah.
And if you post an Instagram photo with the tip on your head, that's we always like to see those.
Like a hashtag of not hashtag Flow Pro, tag out of hell I don't.
Wayne still
Hashtag
doesn't.
some
Yeah.
shit.
Hashtag tip head. That works.
Hashtag just a tip. Don't do that one.
Yeah.
That's not a good one.
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is a serious one. Hey, Wade, I'm getting ready to order up some performance parts for my truck. 05 LLY, S&B turbo mouthpiece, S&B cold air intake, downpipe, 5-inch exhaust. We recommend Flow Pro today. Lift pump, EFI Live, single tune to block cell for exhaust. Are these mods safe for stock trans?
It all goes back to how you're going to drive it and the way the tune's set up. If the tune's going to be set up for stock trans, then I think that you're going to be fine. But that again, and we talk about this a lot, and it's worth saying every week. You can't hook it to a stump and go out and just wring its bag off and expect the trans to live. There has to be some level of caution in there in how you drive. So I think your setup sounds great, especially your tuning part of it to turn the CEL off for the EGR and the exhaust high flow. So no, I think you're doing a good job, man. Carry on, and will it hold up to stock trans? It all depends on how you drive it.
Kyle or Wade, does Flow Pro make a muffler delete pipe for a 94 to 02 Dodge 4-inch, single to duals? If so, where can I get one?
So he's got the Flow Pro dual exhaust kit on there now, or
I think that's what he's trying to say. Maybe it is.
I think so.
because the stock exhaust wouldn't be dual. So we do have, like, the muffler that we include in those kits is our HD big oval muffler, and we don't necessarily have those dual kits available with a no muffler option. So what you could do is you could just get a straight section of pipe and a Y pipe, and the Y pipe should match right up to where your tailpipes exit. So this has probably got the 702 kit.
702 kit.
Yes.
He does have that kit.
So the answer is no. We do not make a specific muffler delete pipe for that kit, but all you need is a Y pipe in a section. So
Yeah.
Do you have the Y pipe that he can order?
yeah, it'll be a Y400. Y401. Yeah.
Yeah. That 4-inch system and that kit right there would just about work for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
O2 Cummins, what size turbo should I get? Aiming for 600 to 650 horsepower, 7,500 altitude mixed towing and daily driving. 6-speed manual. Stock turbo just went out. Haven't looked at it yet, but no boost oil pressure was gone as well. No white smoke. What do you think?
Whew. I think you may have something going on other than the daggone turbo. The no oil pressure concerns me greatly, because even if you dropped a bearing out of the turbo, you should still, and that failure is very rare, you should still have oil pressure for sure. So yeah, I think something else may be going on there. What turbo set up for you at the altitude that you're at, trying to accomplish the horsepower number that you're trying to accomplish in the platform that you've got, you're going to want to be in a twin kit all day long. We offer several different twin kits from just about every major turbo manufacturer out there. Give us a call. We'll be glad to talk through it with you. But for that horsepower number, you're right. You're definitely going to have to be in twins. Josh Land.
Are you going to share with us, or is that a private text
No,
message?
Josh sent us a question. He was hoping you'd say his name so he knew it was a serious question, or it wasn't a serious question. But can you find Josh's question? Josh, hey.
Oh, Josh was the 8-inch. Sorry, I didn't even read that.
Oh,
I didn't read the name. Sorry, Josh.
Hey,
that's my fault.
Josh, listen, man. While we got you on the telephone here, just want to send a big shout out to you for all of your choice in the early '90s, mid '90s, and late '90s country music that you listen to. You're doing a good job, brother. You're out there doing God's work. Thank you for everything that you do.
That's my fault. I get to where I glance at these people's names because we get so many of them on here that do this, but I don't pay attention to, like, oh yeah, I know that person. We do have a lot of industry guys on here today. Bainan.
Oh, yeah?
Bainan, yeah, and we will be at, I guess that's something coming. We'll be at ADD this weekend. That's all diesel day.
All day diesel.
All day diesel.
2017 Valley Blackout.
The exact same disease that you and I both share. ADD.
Yeah. Or Valley Blackout. Do you have that disease?
I've got it too.
That sounds like you might want to check that one out.
If you don't know who Bainan is, he's the returning champion special for the hairy chest contest.
Oh, he
also known as Ginger Delight.
Ginger Delight.
Ginger Delight, yeah.
So, where's that at?
It's in Banyan's home country. It's up there around Hardinsburg. We're going to go
Kentucky.
to Louisville. Yeah, Kentucky. We're going to go. West Point. Yeah, we're going to go to Louisville. Take a left. We'll take 60 out down around the road.
I said that I shared the event on the Thoroughbred page this morning. So if you're watching this video, click the Thoroughbred Diesel logo, and you can scroll through the Facebook page and find the event and all the information to it right there. But we'll be there. We'll have a bunch of shirts to give out, a bunch of stuff to sell. We got parts on the trailer this year. Kyle's there playing Plinko.
Yeah, we got a Plinko board set up. So if you ever watched Price is Right with Bob Barker, come on down and win a prize. We got lots of swag. We got some hats and keychains, stickers, beer koozies.
So Bainan wanted to know what the exchange rate on a loonie right now is.
It's bad.
Excuse me.
It's about 40%. So I need $1.40 to buy $1 US. So it's pretty pricey for me to be there right now.
I can hear Bainan right now. He went, holy shit.
Yeah. So that loonie I gave you, Bainan, is not worth a lot.
It is not worth it.
No. Unless you come up to Canada and buy some maple syrup with it. I feel like that's right up your alley.
Let's get back to
keep Riley cabbage, but
I don't want to know what Bainan does with maple
days,
syrup.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the truck question. I have a 475 over stock LLY that I built. My turbine to turbine pipe is a bit larger compared to most. It's 4 inches. Would a new 475 compressor wheel help with spool?
A 475 compressor wheel, just depending on what the inducer profile is going to tell you what your spool is too. And I don't know how your comp housing's set up either. So there's too many variables to that, really. Honestly, there's too many variables to that. That's a good question.
Alright, I've got to scroll through the nonsense in here to find. Oh, can I special order a bottle of Gibbys included with my Nest exhaust purchase?
Hell yes, you can. Here at Thoroughbred Diesel.
Who's asking that question?
Lance Schism?
Lance?
Oh, Lance. Lance likes his Gibbys.
Did I say Lance's last name right?
Yeah, it's Schism.
Okay.
It's like a Tool song.
Yeah. All right.
But here at Thoroughbred Diesel, we can't necessarily ship you the Gibbys, but you
we
can totally
support
come here and
we
drink
support you
Gibbys
on
with
your
us.
Gibbys.
Yeah.
All right. Doing head gasket on my 6.7 Cummins and was worried how much they can take off the head before I have to get a thicker head gasket.
Well, that is actually going to be a tolerance that the machine shop is going to have there in-house. There is only one thickness on the 6.7 gaskets that I'm aware of, Cummins. I don't know what that tolerance is. Your machinist will know. I hope he knows.
Might ask him before he starts machining your head. That's a really good thing to ask.
Yeah, if he can rattle off that number, which I cannot.
All right. Running a 5-inch Flow Pro on my 09 Duramax, and I love it. I was just wondering what the first piece from the downpipe is. 4 inches, and then it adapts to a 5?
You've got it installed on the truck?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would be the first pipe is 4 inch, and then it adapts up to 5 inch from there. The reason being is we couldn't get a 5 inch turbo downpipe right in there, so we had to go 4 inch and then expand it out from there.
You know, we get a lot of rumbling about the 4 inch downpipe on some of these 5 inch kits. The problem with that is, and I'll let Kyle talk on this just a little bit more too, and we get this question all the time, but your inlet of the pipe is whatever size it is, just depending on what the downpipe is. All of them are different, but let's just say they're all 4 inch. having a 5-inch downpipe at that foot to 2 foot transition is not going to make a difference for you when your inlet to the exhaust itself is at 4 inch as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like off your turbo, it's 4 inch. Like the flange is always going to be 4 inch. So you know, we don't have an oversized flange that attaches to your turbo or anything like that. But the way I always explain it to people is that your stock performance and your flow is here. When you go up to 4 inch to a 4 inch exhaust, you're making that much of a jump, and the difference between 4 inch and 5 inch is just a little tiny bit more. So when you've got a 4 inch downpipe, a lot of guys with the Duramaxes are worried about, you know, changing their turbo direct pipe. That's a pretty popular modification, but it's not super necessary because the gains that you're getting from going with a 4 inch straight exhaust with or without a muffler are that much better than stock already, and just changing the size of that pipe is a very, very minor difference. You're getting a little bit more sound out of it, a little bit more flow, but as far as performance goes, between 4 inch and 5 inch, there's not much of a difference.
No. Talking about the Duramaxes specifically, from the downpipe to the transmission cross member, I would 10 to 1 rather have it in 4 inch there anyway. You're going to have a whole lot less fitment issues if you've got a 4 inch section of pipe there than you will have if you've got a 5 inch section of pipe. Because 5 inch section with everything clocked correctly, you're still looking at a gap about the thickness of that thing. It's a pretty tight tolerance. So
yeah, it's tight.
Yeah, to keep out of those rattles, you're better off with 4 inch to the cross member anyway.
97 12 valve, 4K governor springs, 150 horse injectors, cold air intake. Looking for a turbo upgrade over a stock one. What would you recommend?
There's so many different ones out there, and it really is going to depend on how much farther that you want to go. I would stay in a 62 millimeter Charger because your drivability is going to be just so much better. There'll be probably a lot of guys that are in that comment section will be bashing around and wanting you to go 64, 66, some bigger Chargers. Getting on top of the bigger Chargers in 12 valve is just going to make it. It's going to make it smoky. You're not going to have a whole lot of bottom end. If you do anything between a 58 to a 62 millimeter, trying to stay just south of the 500 horsepower range, you're going to have a very peppy truck. It's going to be very snappy, great bottom end power, and it's just going to be really fun to drive. So really the choice is yours. If you don't mind the lag and you're looking for big time top end power, then 64 plus is your thing. If you want good bottom end power and a nice driving truck, 62 and smaller.
Well, I guess this was more for Kyle. It says Wade, but I'll say, Kyle, does FlowPro have a 5-inch turbo back in black chrome for 2016 Cummins? My truck is black on black on black. Chrome is going to stick out like a sore thumb.
So he wants the entire exhaust to be chrome?
Black chrome.
Black chrome. So we don't offer a black piping system. The only two finishes that we offer are aluminized steel and a T409 grade stainless steel. We have seen a lot of guys that are building show trucks, SEMA trucks, that sort of thing, and they want their exhaust to be black or some other color. So I've seen guys that buy the kit and send it off to a powder coating shop, and they end up looking really nice. You just don't want to powder coat the clamp connections, that sort of thing, but aside from that, they look really nice, but we don't do any of the powder coating or offer any of those fancier custom finishes. You would buy the kit and essentially send it off to get powder coated.
If they're going to powder coat it, would they be better off going with stainless or aluminized?
You can definitely get away with the aluminized.
Because they're going to cover it anyway. So you might as well buy a cheaper kit.
It's going to get covered anyway, and you're going to be spending a little bit extra on the powder coating. So I'd go with an aluminized system, and it'll hold up just good.
Keep away from surface rust too.
Yeah.
If you have any imperfections.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your opinion on modded stock turbos such as Tater Builts or Turbo Labs? You familiar with
that?
That
must be a question for you.
Turbo Labs. I'm familiar with that. Not Tater Built though, but I like the name. And we talk about it in terms of the Wicked Wheel and the Batmo wheel that we sell both. Those profile inducer wheels make a very nice power upgrade for the truck in the sweet spot of your efficiency point on the turbo. So let's just say your truck runs its best horsepower at 2100 RPM. these wheels are actually going to give you better flow at the sweet spot of that. It's going to give you better flow across the range, moving more air, not necessarily a higher PSI, and just a profile to move more air. So you're going to get more power at the sweet spot, which again is going to just help your drivability of the vehicle. I like wheel upgrades, Wicked Wheel, Batmo wheel, whatever you choose to go with. I think that you're making if you're going to stay in that stock horsepower range, sub 500 horsepower, definitely a nice upgrade for your truck.
Last two questions, and then we'll call it a day. Where are the hood stack kits at?
We don't make hood stack kits at this time. I've seen guys that are using our turbo flanges and some mandrel bent pipe, and you can buy enough stuff from us to make a hood stack kit yourself, but we don't make direct fit hood stack kits at this time. That's usually it's kind of more of a custom racing thing.
By the time you need a hood stack, it's so custom that there's no way you can build a kit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're always going on race trucks or pulling trucks, and
unless you wanted a flex pipe kit.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so much customization with building trucks like that. We wouldn't necessarily want to just offer one kit and say, here's your hood stack kit, and then people say, well, this isn't the hood stack kit I want. It's not built. So I mean, that's always a custom thing, and we'll probably keep it at that for the time being.
I'm smiling because I'm just thinking about the rash of people that would totally cut a hole right in their hood and do a hood stack, and they didn't care. They don't have to be pullers or drag racers. If it's offered, I promise you, there'd be so many holes punched in there. if it was direct fit off the stock turbo. Yeah. Holy crap.
They'd totally have a hood stack and a light bar and just roll down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that kind of takes away from our product too. We're like, full turbo back exhaust, not turbo straight up into the sky.
Yeah.
All right, last question. I understand the Flow Pro mufflers are a straight through design. But inside the muffler, does the muffler neck down, or is it a uniform diameter throughout the entire muffler? Same size going in, it's coming out.
That's correct. Yeah.
Speaking diesel mufflers.
Yep. So it's a straight through perforated core. So if it's a 4-inch muffler or a 5-inch muffler, it's 5-inch all the way through, and it's an 8-inch case diameter, and wrapped around that case is a high temperature fireproof material. It's not fiberglass, because fiberglass is kind of a bad word when it comes to mufflers. Then you expect them to blow out, that sort of thing. So we've got a high temperature fireproof material wrapped around there, and it's just the muffler is basically designed to just cut down on the cab drone when you're pulling a trailer, doing long road trips, that sort of thing. And it just cuts down on that constant hum in your cab, and that's essentially what they're designed for. And yeah, it's straight through, so you're not losing any performance by putting a muffler in. It's just cutting down on that sound just a little bit.
Cool deal.
There's a cutaway on the 304 kit here that shows the straight through core, straight through design, and this is 304. That's not what comes in every kit, but there's a picture of the cutaway with the high temp sound absorbing material too. So Flow Pro making mufflers since 1492 when the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria came over.
Actually, that's not. It's 1981.
1981.
Yeah.
1492.
What happened in 1981, Wade? What did you do in 1981?
Well,
what were you into?
That's a good question. I was 5 years old. I probably started driving at 5.
Yeah.
At 81, what were you doing, Kyle?
81, I was a twinkle.
You were still swimming.
Yeah, I was still swimming.
Still swimming.
Yeah.
Me too.
What about you? You were still swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah, 81. I think 81 was the year that MTV first one launched out. First video was video killed the radio star.
That needs to be a segment on this thing for sure. Like, we'll just name a random year, and then you can guess what may or may not have happened. Which ends up with like Columbus selling the ocean blue in 1642.
Yeah.
Last week you did.
Yeah, 1642. Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. See you guys at All Diesel Day this weekend for Bainen's event. Tell them bye, Wade and Kyle.
Bye, Wade and Kyle.
Bye, Kyle. Bye, Wade.